Okay, there it is, right behind me, the mighty castle of Kronborg, which is well known for Hamlet, the play of Shakespeare. It's wet windy here, so not mind my hair. Anyway, so I'm here in Helsingør, and I'm going to meet the fantastic lady Marianne Andersen, who is known to be the Lady Robotics of Denmark, and more than that, she has been doing great work to engage women and girls into science and technology. So I'm going to meet her very soon. But I want to tell you also that we are about to do the first global summit of tech, or not the tech. It's a two women summit, me and Marianne, and we are going to find out what is needed so that we can enhance the use of good technology in a good way in Denmark and maybe also in Finland. So you are welcome to follow us. Hope to see you in our videos with Marianne very soon. There are people who are doing good things for their communities and for the future. And Marianne is absolutely one of the greatest persons. And it's so good to know you, Marianne. And now we are talking about women and girls. Is that right? Great. So you are a founder of High5Girls here in Denmark. And what is High5Girls?
Yeah, first of all, I like to say that I'm an engineer myself. I'm an electronic engineer myself. And the story of High5Girls is actually my story. What happened when I founded High5Girls 5.5 years ago, I found out that many girls have the same story, more or less, right? So in primary school, I was not good in physics and chemistry. I didn't understand a word. And even today, I don't know if it was because I really did not understand it, or if it was because I thought my teacher thought I did not understand it. I don't know, because I was a girl, right? In my class, the boys were really good in physics and chemistry, but the girls were not. So anyway, I had an old teacher, Mr. Hansen, at that time. So when I had to choose a gymnasium, I naturally chose languages. And I never ever thought about mathematics and physics. Okay, so I went to the gymnasium and I studied Latin and German and French and whatever, English, of course. But then I got a little tired of 25 women in a class. So I said, I'm going to take some courses after the gymnasium in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and programming. And then suddenly I found out that I was very good in physics and mathematics. And not only that, I loved physics. I was so inspiring. I really loved it, and I still do today. I really love the principles behind and all the laws and whatever there is. But I had a young teacher, after the gymnasium, I had a young teacher, and I think maybe she was my first role model. Because if she can, then of course I can also. So suddenly it was easy for me. So that's the story behind High5Girls. But after that, I went out to work with medical technology. I have worked in developing products, diagnostic products to be used to diagnose patients with primarily for 25 years. And I never saw a female mechanical engineer or a female engineer in programming even, or in hardware or something like that. Right. And that is why when I looked into the mirror like 5.5 years ago, I said to myself, what do you want to give back to the world? And the idea of High5Girls came. And what is High5Girls? High5Girls is a network of women, female role models that have been through the same story as I did, being an engineer, sitting alone in the class, among 32 guys, because this is what I experienced, in the gymnasium. It was 25 women, but when I started to study electronics engineering, I was in a class, the only woman with 32 guys, right? So all the role models in High5Girls, they have experienced the same, more or less, being 2 out of 50 or something like that, and they are experts within their specific area in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. What we do is we share our passion for technology with the next generation of girls from 13 to 19 years old, we do activities, camps, hackathons, workshops for girls where we do hands-on technology to show the girls it's not that difficult, it's fun, and if the role model, who's typically younger than me, for instance, if she can, then the girl can also, of course. But High5Girls is not only about technology, it's about also entrepreneurship, it's about problem solving. We also train the girl in entrepreneurship, but we also work with self-confidence because it's about giving the girls self-confidence. Of course you can. And if it's difficult, well, maybe it's also difficult for some boys, of course it is, but somehow girls find it very difficult, and their families, their mothers, fathers find engineering and science so difficult. But if it's difficult, it's also difficult for boys, of course. It's all about training. You know, if you train long enough, you'll be good at it.
So do those social perceptions still exist?
Yeah, they do indeed. That is what we hear from girls, from parents, and also we experience it ourselves, because we still think like, you know, if we have a problem at home with the television or the car, then I will call my husband, or before my husband I would call my father, right? Or I would call my son, right? I would never call my daughter, even though, you know, actually to be honest, in my family, after the divorce I had, then it's my daughter who was the man in the family, so to say, for practical things, practical jobs. Yeah.
You were talking about the role models.
Yeah.
So what is the role of the role models? Are they, you know, oftentimes joining seminars or hackathons, or how do they contribute?
It's very different. We have some that are extremely active. We have one role model, Paula. She has been part of several sustainability camps here in Denmark. Now she moved to Netherlands, and now she wants to do a High5Girls camp in Netherlands. So 2 other role models living in Denmark, they come to Netherlands and do a sustainability energy camp with her. So we have some that do it again and again and again, and who really find it extremely nice to be with the other role models, to do the camp, but also to see how good the girls are, because it's amazing to see these 13, 14-year-old girls come in extremely shy the first day, and then they get to know each other, and then it's amazing to see when they leave and new friendships has arisen. So it's very different. We also know that sometimes a role model can have a child, a baby, or a new job, or, you know, the family situation could be so that it's difficult to do something for a while, but then they typically come back when they have time again. And it's nice. We are building up a nice role model network. So we say that we are the invisible hand in the bag when you need it, because these role models are also more or less sitting alone in the department, especially if they are in research and development. That there are not a lot of women there. So sometimes we have role models calling us and say, I need to talk to somebody who have tried this, who've been in this situation. So we are the invisible hand taking care of the role models and the girls if they feel they need to be supported. Because typically you will come into periods in your life where you do not feel you belong to technology career.
Do you have some success stories that you could share from?
Yes, there was this girl, I think she's almost 16 now. She started to come with us when she was 13, and she said to me, you know what, I actually always found it very interesting to program, but whenever I signed up for programming classes, I was the only girl, so I lost my interest. But it came back after I became part of High5Girls. We know that a lot of girls are losing the interest for technology and mathematics at the age of 14, 15. And of course, it has to do with teachers that expect different things from girls compared to boys. It has to do with the parents. Maybe mother think it's a little difficult to become an engineer for her daughter, and it's easier for the father to see that she can do it. Of course, she can do it. But that's one story, and there's another story about a girl. She came to us when she was 13. She's also now 16 or 17. And she was very shy in the beginning. And her mother told us that she had been bullied in school because she was the youngest in the class. And she never really felt she belonged to any places. So she came back to attend several of our workshops. And her self-confidence arose without her noticing it, her mother says. So she ended up in a school or in a class where she's the only girl, and she feels fine about it. So self-confidence is what we have given to her, and that is really nice story too.
Yes, that's awesome. So this is High5Girls is also a channel or a way to find a mentor or find a community.
Yes. Yeah. A community network, yes, absolutely. And we also know, some of the companies we work with, there's a company where we have 4 role models. They're working in 4 different departments, and they did not know each other. But after we made a camp at their place, they now have lunch every month together, the 4 of them. And it's nice because they're all sitting alone in departments with men, and sometimes you just have something you want to talk to another woman about, right? That's how it is, right? So we create a small network here and there and everywhere.
You talked about parents, the role of the parents. So have you ever had a camp for parents too?
No, we do camp. No, we do something called mother-daughter events. And that is because typically research shows that it's a mother who talks about education with her daughter. So we do mother-daughter events where it's based on the same concept as High5Girls. So we work with hands-on technology, entrepreneurship, self-confidence, and things like that. But we do it with the mother and the daughter. And it's so interesting to see the mother that she can see that her daughter is very good in programming or whatever it is about the technology we're working with, and she can see that she's happy about it. And we talk about role models, and we talk about the mother being a role model also, and how she can support her daughter if she chooses a way into science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So they've been extremely successful, these mother-daughter events. And mothers, they come to us and they say, I don't remember when I had such quality time with my daughter last time. And it's so nice. It's so nice. We see the father, it's easier to work with the father.
Well, I can see that you are truly inspired about this based on your personal story you had. But you also maybe see some future visions that where is all this going to? There are more and more girls. And what does it mean for you and Denmark and, well, for the girls?
Well, we hope to be able to see in few years that we have more STEM women than men. No, at least 50-50 or 40-60, something like that, right? We cannot measure that yet. We've existed for 5.5 years. And it's difficult to say that High5Girls is the reason why I choose to become an engineer, right? Because there's still going on a lot of things in the school and with your parents and etc. in the television, whatever, right? So it's difficult to say that it's because of High5Girls that a girl choose to go in that direction. So what we can measure now is the little steps. It's like a mother tells us, we were sitting to watch robotics in space with our daughter when it was on the television. We would never have done that before High5Girls. Things like that. We hear from parents and girls that they keep the interest in STEM if they are interested already, or they get an interest in STEM because of High5Girls. That is what we can measure. So our vision is to get outside Denmark, because we know that many other countries have the same challenges as we do here. So this year, 2024, we're going to Greenland, and we are going to Netherlands. Many of our role models, they come from other countries. So we have already made little lines to other countries because some of them go back, like Paula went back to Netherlands and continued with High5Girls there.
Yeah,
that is the vision.
So how can, if there is now a girl who is thinking, what should she do to get in contact with other High5Girls?
Well, she could start to go to the social media. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. That's maybe more her parents. But on Instagram, or she could write us a mail. She can find our website, high5girls.org. Write to us, and we'll find out what's best to do.
And what is your message you'd like to share to women who are now working with technology and science? How should they be involved? And
if they have a passion for the technology that they're working with, they should definitely contact us. If they want to give back that passion to the next generation, they should definitely contact us. We see that, in the beginning, 5.5 years ago, I had to call my network to ask them if they wanted to be a role model. But now we see that women contact us and they say, I wish there was something like that when I was 13. And I believe that the world would have looked different if there had been these things also when I was 13 years old, right? Because I never saw what engineering was about until I was, 24. By coincidence, choose to study engineering.
I so agree with you, Marianne, and I thank you for your work. It is so important. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.